Persia wasn't just another empire that crossed paths with Israel. It was a divinely chosen tool used to fulfill key biblical prophecies and restore God's people. Due to the overwhelming interest and questions from our previous video, we're back with a second installment focusing on Iran's biblical role. If you missed the first part, where we discussed Iran's origins in the Bible and its prophetic significance, you can find the link in the description below. In this video, we'll delve deeper into Persia's unique relationship with Israel, exploring how this ancient empire, modern-day Iran, played a crucial role during some of Israel's most challenging times. Persia wasn't merely a neighboring power. It was a God-appointed ally in the restoration of Israel. From Cyrus the Great's decree to Darius's unwavering support for rebuilding the temple, Persia's influence was far more significant than many realize. By the end of this video, you'll see how Persia's extraordinary assistance laid the groundwork for Israel's restoration and renewal. Let's begin with one of the most remarkable figures in biblical history, Cyrus the Great, the founder of the Achaemenid Empire, or Persia. While empires like Babylon and Assyria oppressed Israel, Persia under Cyrus did the opposite. Surprisingly, over a century before his birth, the prophet Isaiah specifically prophesied Cyrus's rise, calling him a shepherd who would deliver Israel, who says of Cyrus, "He is my shepherd, and he shall perform all my pleasure," saying to Jerusalem, "You shall be built, and to the temple, foundations shall be laid." This prophecy is extraordinary for several reasons. Although Cyrus was a pagan king, God referred to him as my shepherd, a title usually reserved for Israelite leaders. Despite not knowing it, Cyrus became the instrument through which God's plans for Israel unfolded. At that time, Israel was exiled in Babylon, yearning to return after 70 years of separation from their homeland. When Cyrus conquered Babylon in 539 BC, he issued a decree allowing the Jewish exiles to return to Jerusalem and rebuild the temple, fulfilling Isaiah's prophecy. As recorded in the book of Ezra, "Thus says Cyrus, king of Persia, the Lord, the God of heaven, has given me all the kingdoms of the earth, and he has commanded me to build him a house at Jerusalem in Judah." This decree was not just a political move, it was a divine intervention. Under Cyrus's leadership, the Jewish people were granted the freedom to return and the resources needed to rebuild the temple. This positioned Cyrus as a central figure in Israel's restoration, a non-Israelite king who, unknowingly, became a key player in fulfilling God's promises. While Cyrus initiated the return, rebuilding the temple was a difficult and contentious process. The returning Jews faced significant opposition from neighboring groups, including the Samaritans, who tried to halt the construction. This resistance delayed the temple's completion, but Persia's role didn't end with Cyrus. Cyrus's successor, Darius the Great, reaffirmed support for the Jewish community. He not only allowed the construction to resume, but also provided financial assistance from the Persian treasury. As recorded in Ezra, "Let the governor of the Jews and the elders of the Jews rebuild this house of God on its site. Let the cost be paid at the king's expense from taxes on the region." Beyond the river, Darius even ordered that anyone who tried to obstruct the rebuilding efforts would face severe consequences, emphasizing Persia's commitment to Israel's restoration. Amazingly, Persia, a powerful pagan empire, not only permitted the Jewish people to rebuild their temple, but actively funded and protected the project. This serves as a clear example of God's sovereignty, using even a foreign power to fulfill his plans. After the temple was completed, Jerusalem's walls remained in ruins, leaving the city exposed and symbolizing Israel's vulnerability. This brings us to the story of Nehemiah, a Jewish leader who served as a cupbearer to King Artaxerxes I of Persia. Though he held a prestigious position, Nehemiah's heart remained with his people. Upon learning about Jerusalem's desolate state, he sought the king's permission to return and rebuild the city's walls. In an incredible display of favor, Artaxerxes granted Nehemiah's request, providing letters of safe passage, military escorts, and timber from the royal forests for the rebuilding effort. "And the king granted them to me, according to the good hand of my God upon me," Nehemiah recorded. Within 52 days, despite facing constant threats, the walls of Jerusalem were rebuilt, a remarkable achievement that signaled the full restoration of Israel, both spiritually and physically. Why did Persia, a pagan empire, play such a pivotal role in Israel's restoration? Unlike empires like Babylon and Assyria, which oppressed God's people, Persia's influence was profoundly different. One reason might be Persia's religious beliefs at the time, deeply influenced by Zoroastrianism, a faith that emphasized a cosmic struggle between good and evil. While not monotheistic like Judaism, Zoroastrianism's acknowledgement of a supreme deity may have made Persian kings more open to the idea of Israel's God. This openness, in turn, allowed for the fulfillment of prophecies and divine plans through their reigns. Most importantly, Persia's story is a testament to God's dominion over all nations. From Cyrus's decree to Artaxerxes' support, Persia's rulers played essential roles in God's redemptive plan. It's a reminder that God's purposes transcend borders, leaders, and faiths. While Persia's contributions to Israel's restoration are celebrated, its prophetic journey is not yet complete. The book of Ezekiel, chapters 38-39, foresees a future conflict where Persia, among other nations, will join forces against Israel in the war of Gog and Magog. This event is considered a major precursor to the return of the Messiah. Persia, Cush, and Put will be with them, all with shields and helmets. Though Persia was once an ally of Israel, it will eventually join a coalition that opposes God's people. Yet, the prophecy assures us that God will intervene, bringing about Israel's ultimate deliverance. The modern-day tensions between Iran and Israel add contemporary relevance to this ancient prophecy, with many seeing these dynamics as part of a larger prophetic picture. Persia's role in the Bible is unique, spanning both restoration and confrontation. Figures like Cyrus, Darius, and Artaxerxes played crucial roles in fulfilling God's promises to Israel, demonstrating how even empires outside the covenant could become instruments of divine purpose. Yet, as prophecy reveals, Persia's story is far from over. In the end times, Persia will again take a significant place in the unfolding of God's plan, a reminder that God's control over history is absolute and His purposes for Israel will always prevail. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth explorations of biblical prophecy and history. God bless you.